Sir Steffon here. Qhorin Halfhand is Gerold Hightower. Now take your hands off the thumbs down button and look with me from the top of the shoulders of original gangsta and giant of YouTube, LaDonna Johnson. Part 1, The Hard Evidence. But first we need to lay some quick groundwork. You may have seen LaDonna on James of Thrones' YouTube channel. That's his mama. If you don't recognize the James of Thrones name, he's the creator that interestingly speaks to how A Song of Ice and Fire relates to Roman Stoicism and that 90s movie about an orca and a little boy. Think about it, geeks. When Bloodraven says that the ink is dry, is he talking about your past or your future? On their channel, James and LaDonna very politely present theories that are both uniquely original and of key importance to the prime unified theory of A Song of Ice and Fire. But more importantly, they truly seem like nice people. Check their link in the description. Anyway, all of that is important, but what about Qhorin Hightower? The formation of today's Sapphire began back in 2013 when the coconut notion that Mance Rayder may have an alter ego began to more rapidly percolate on Reddit. LaDonna first introduced me to the idea in one of James's videos, which is the aforementioned link. It's from way back in January of 2014. As you are probably aware, there is quite a bit of both old and new high-quality coverage hammering out the line of theory that Mance is either Rhaegar or Arthur Dayne. And I can't really rehash all of that here and now, but suffice to say, I'm accepting half of it. And it's from these shoulders, LaDonna's shoulders, that we begin our look at Qhorin Halfhand. Have you heard the African proverb about the misty rain that falls softly but floods the river? A lot of time I think this is how Martin fords his mysteries. But if you listen closely, there is almost always a thunderclap in the distance. We'll save the Qhorin Hightower thunderclap till the end. So first, enjoy the misty rain. Once one begins to think there is definitely something off with Mance in his story, it is natural to look for collaborating evidence. And because of his Shadow Tower links, one comes quickly to Qhorin. Qhorin's most obvious, most noticeable trait is of course his maimed hand, from Clash of Kings in Jon 5. Jon knew Qhorin Halfhand the instant he saw him, though he had never met. Only thumb and forefinger remained on the hand that held the reins. The other fingers had been sheared off catching a wildling's axe. As quickly as our mind comes to Qhorin when we think of Mance, so too does Gerold Hightower come to mind when we think of Rhaegar and Dayne. We don't know much really about Hightower, but interestingly, Martin does find the time to introduce the following tale. From Storm of Swords, Samwell 2. We learn Ulmer's story when Sam thinks, quote, in his youth, Ulmer had been an outlaw, a member of the Kingswood Brotherhood. He claimed he'd once put an arrow through the hand of the White Bull of the Kingsguard to steal a kiss from the lips of a Dornish princess. Qhorin's other notable characteristics are his large size and, quote, touched by hoarfrost hair. And what was Gerold Hightower's college nickname? The White Bull. Now we don't know for sure his hair color and size, but we do know Hightower was stronger than Sir Jaime, and that his house may have carried the silver-white hair of the Targaryens. As way of an obscure example, Sir Friendzone's second wife, a Hightower, is said to have favored Daenerys. And what is Dany's most prominent trait? Her silver-white hair. But what about the age? We know Jon says Squire Dalbridge is the oldest in Qhorin's party, and that Stone Snake is near 50. Most in the Song of Ice and Fire community think that Dalbridge squired for Jaehaerys II, who was born in 225 AC. Just guessing and rounding now, if Dalbridge was of an age and a bit younger than Jaehaerys, we can say he was born in 230. Maybe Qhorin was born in 240. For reference, Stone Snake would have been born in 250, and Qhorin's party is formed in 299. When we try to guess Hightower's age, our best starting fact is that, though young, he rose to command the Kingsguard in 259 following the death of Duncan the Tall at the Summerhall tragedy. From A World of Ice and Fire. Command of the Targaryen host passed to the new young Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, Sir Gerold Hightower, the White Bull. Hightower and his men were hard-pressed for a time, but as the war hung in the balance, a young knight named Sir Barristan Selmy slew Mailes in single combat. Okay, note, both knights are called young, and recall that Selmy was born in or around 230. I mean 237. Among the other harder evidence we have the strange stuff and things Qhorin says about trees, or say the efficacy of torture. I heard Preston Jacobs mention he has a Qhorin video coming soon, and I think he can do a much better job than I in covering this. Another piece of hard evidence, or lack thereof, is the missing bodies or bones from the Tower of Joy fight. Some may call this, and I hope James of Thrones would appreciate this, corpus delicti, or to coin a phrase, corpus derelicti. In any case, think how mad Lady Dustin appears about not having her husband's bones returned by Ned. In part 2, we will cover the iconology of Qhorin Hightower. Spears, planes, and crossed legs. White bulls and Lord Commanders. The color gray and, most importantly, the thunderclap that is Qhorin's braid. From the shoulders of giants, for Septa Shaena, Sir Steffon out.